All right, and joining me today is Corinne Laframboise, who is fighting on this season's Dana White's Contender Series. Now, Corinne, we got to start here. I know you've told the story before. I know you've told the story to other people, but you got to walk us through. 2 years ago, you were signed to fight on Contender Series. You show up for fight week. You take your medical test, and they give you both the good and the bad news, I guess. You're not fighting, but also you're pregnant. So tell us, who gave you the news? What was it like? The mixed emotions, obviously.
But as you say, it was what a surprise. I knew like 3 days before you take the plane, we need to pass a blood test to see if you are pregnant. And actually, that's how I learned that I was pregnant from 3 months and a half. What a crazy story. How I learned it, I was going to because I'm dental hygienist, okay, during the day. So I was at my job and I looking at the message because I was seeing my doctor in the morning to take the blood test, and usually it's like, okay, wish me all the best and la la la. So we have the same discussion as usual, like on every fight. Wish me all the best. And I received a message during my day. I just opened it quickly and saw that I read actually, oh, Corinne, you are not, you're pregnant. That's a joke. And well, okay, finish my day, no problem. I text my doctor at the end of the day and I said, thank you very much. Wish me all the best, blah, blah, blah. And he called me. And now he said, Corinne, that's not a joke. You're pregnant. And it was the high level of hormone that you have in your blood. You're probably, even you have twins, or even you are pregnant more than 3 months. And that's how I learned that I was pregnant. So what a surprise.
Incredible. Now, I got to ask too, because, we're 2 days away from UFC Vegas 98, which is taking place in the Apex. The person who wound up taking your spot on that fight, Dion Barbosa, is fighting Miranda Maverick on that card. So what is it like knowing...
I saw, but it's just like I need to fill my how can I say, I need to achieve my family goal, which is done. Now I'm putting my energy on my business goal, my professional goal. So I'm going to 2024 is going to be a real deal for me. So I'm going to go in the UFC. It's just a year later, but I saw, actually I'm in Vegas with one of my friends, and we were watching the odds in the pool downstairs, and I saw Barbosa and for the UFC next weekend. So soon it's gonna be me. Let me see.
I love it. Now, I wanted to ask you about the road back too, because it's been a while since you've been in the cage. It's been 2 years since you've been in the cage. What has it been like going back to camp? Not just obviously recovering from being pregnant, but also now you're fighting for another one. You're fighting for two of you instead of just yourself.
Yeah, but like it's been 2 years that the last time that I fought, it was for UAE Warriors in Abu Dhabi, and that's the time that I won my belt. And like I feel like I have a full training camp done, but didn't have the fight. The training camp that I done the first last year was a little bit more. It was a little bit more. Sorry, I had another call at the same time. Do you see me?
Yeah, I'm good. You're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
So it was a little bit more complicated because at the beginning of this training camp, I tore my ankle like 2 months before the fight. So we managed around. I did much more swimming, we did much more pad, but we were not able to have a real sparring, which it was good on the other point because I didn't get hurt and I was pregnant. But what I want to say is I had 2 training camp done for that fight. So the next time it's September, she gonna pay for those 2 for those 2 training camps. So
absolutely. And how did you feel at the end of all of that too? Because I mean, obviously, a blessing, congratulations on your child, but was going through the training camp and then just like not having the fight sort of like not letting a sneeze out? Was it frustrating to not get a chance to do what you came there to do?
Nah, it was for a good reason, huh? It's like me and my husband was trying to not trying like okay, it's time to do it, but like it was 3 years that we were trying to have a kids, so it didn't happen. But so now it happened, and like it was a joy like that we cannot imagine. So I cannot say that I was disappointed. It was meant to be. Like she appeared, I knew it like 3 days before to take the plane. I tore my ankle. I was not injured. The baby was safe. She was unique because there was no twins. Twins, different things, but so everything was set on a good way. So I was not disappointed. It was just partie remise, as we say in French. Next time.
Yeah. So I also got to ask, because a lot of fighters have said, once they have a child, once they have a daughter, a son, they feel like their fighting career changes, that there's more purpose in their training camps. It's easier to get to the gym because they know they're going, for them as well as themselves. Like, do you feel that yourself? Do you feel like things have changed for you? Or is it just kind of, maybe the same training camp, just a little bit less sleep?
No, I less sleep for sure, 200% less sleep. But I feel like at the end of the day, I feel like Wonder Woman. Like you're able to achieve all the training and all the stuff, including my daughter. I didn't want to have a child to put her on the side and like let's just focus on my goal, my professional goal. So being able to bring her everywhere, like at the boxing, jiu-jitsu, and the training stuff, it's really a lifestyle that I want to give her for the next 5 years at least, before she start to go at school. But for the next 5 years, I want her to be involved in the martial arts, to see what is it to put effort, and what is it to to raise their self-confidence. And I'm really happy to be able to teach that to my daughter. So it's different. Yeah, that's it.
I love it. Now, I wanted to ask you a little bit about this training camp too, because I've seen you post a lot of videos of you working or pictures of you working with Olympians, with Olympic level wrestlers here. Is that, yeah? And you got the shirt on there too. I love that, the Canadian wrestling team shirt. So tell me a little bit about that part of your training camp, and how I know she's been a big part of your training camp for a while, but like, how has she sort of helped you through this training camp leading to this fight?
It's been 10 years, a bit more than 10 years that we are working together, and we were talking about her goal. We talk about Linda Moret, my wrestling training partner, and her goal was to achieve the Olympic dream, and my goal was to sign in the UFC. And now she's just going at the end of the month. She's leaving for Paris because she is gonna wrestle for the Olympic team in Canada, and I'm gonna get my contract in September. So I feel like we achieve our dream at the same time. We put effort on those the training camp. The wrestling club, actually, the wrestling is the toughest training that you can have for the cardio, for the strength, for the muscle that you need to be that it need to be involved in that. So it's the toughest part of my training. If we talk about the boxing and jiu-jitsu, and I think wrestling, it's more tough. And she helped me a lot to achieve, to get better, because I feel like if you are good at wrestling, you decide if you're gonna box or you're gonna bring the fight to the ground. And it's a good tool to have, especially in MMA. So at the wrestling club with Dave Zilberman and Victor Zilberman, they built a lot of Olympians. So the way that they teach, it's important. I feel really I feel like the training is done right at the wrestling club. So.
And so I want to ask too, you said you started 10 years ago with her. You've been training together for 10 years. So she was on that path. You were on this path. Was there ever a time where, you thought about not doing MMA? Was there a time you tried to convince her to do MMA, or was it always those were your two goals and we're both on it?
No, I know that I'm good at wrestling, but I'm not at her level, and she's good. She's good too. I don't know if she's doing boxing. She just focused on her wrestling part. So I think she helped me a lot for the wrestling part of my training. But no, I never talk about being a wrestler, and she didn't do for MMA either.
Well, it's worked out for both of you. Now, I usually like to end these interviews by asking for a prediction on the fight, talking a lot about a little bit of the style, but we don't have an opponent announced yet. So instead, since I think, you said you have a date in your mind, I'm pretty sure you got an opponent in your mind. Why don't you just give us your prediction, even though we don't know the opponent, on how you see yourself getting that UFC contract come September?
But for the next opponent, it's gonna be like the other one. We study her, we watch all her fight, and we study her at the beginning. And after that, it's gonna be me who choose where I'm gonna bring that fight. Do I want to box her? I want to bring her on the ground, and I always give a good show. Like I always give interesting fight, and that's what I'm gonna be. That's what I'm gonna do in September. I'm gonna give a show. Give a show. That's what I need to do. And for sure, like as I said, the submission is one of my things. Like I won the world championship for jiu-jitsu competition and stuff, but submission is always nice when she decides to quit. So that's the feeling is really nice. But I never had a cold knockout. Like that's something that I want to have in my on my rankings. So a cold knockout boxing, I know that I hit hard, and maybe it can be interesting too. But for sure, interesting show, a spectacular show.
We're looking forward to it. Once again, fans, this has been Corinne Laframboise, who fights this September on Dana White's Contender Series. Corinne, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Dan. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.